for your support. So today, to kick it all off, we thought no better person to come today than the man who saved our football club. And I'd like you to welcome our chairman, Mr. Stewart Day. It's been just over 12 weeks since Stewart took over this football club, and in that time you've seen massive change, and I think there's been a massive change towards the support. He's put the coaches on down to Norwich, he's reduced the season tickets, because his burning ambition is to make this club back a friendly club, a nice club that people can come, the kids can come, and everybody. And when I speak to him, he's always enthusiastic, so I thought today I'll just ask him a couple of questions and hopefully he'll answer it. The main thing he's changed, besides all this, he's fetched about 24 players into this football club, and that might sound a lot to you people with the troubles we've had, but I can assure you the 24 he's brought in has replaced the ones we couldn't afford. So I'd like to ask Stewart, are we going to see any more coming before tomorrow night?
We're always on the lookout for new players, and one of the things that we've tried to do is put a heavy scouting system in place with the club. When I came onto the club and I sat down with the manager, one of the things that was quite clear is there was no scouts at all within this club. So to try and identify new talent and identify new players was going to be extremely difficult. We've now recruited 30 scouts. We've got Paul Webb, who is our chief scout, who's come from Tottenham Hotspurs, and he's now coming to the club on a full-time basis, and he looks after all our scouts. So that's also identifying new players, and we're always on the lookout to try and bolster our squad and also make the right additions when we need to. One of the things that we're also looking at doing is there's a lot of players that are out of contract as well at the moment, who are being at big clubs, who are still waiting to try and find a bit of work this season, and they're hoping that they're going to get the right deal. So we're always on the lookout for new players, and but one of the things we have done, as Nev's touched on, is we brought 24, 25 players into the club, and we now need to get them to gel as a team. So that's the main thing that the manager wants to work on, is making sure we can start gelling. Because I think in the last 3 games, every team that we put out has been a different side. So now we've got to try and get a settled side.
I think we've all seen a change in the football as well. I think even though some of the results didn't go for us, I think what we've seen is some good football, and like I said, he's trying to get it to gel. I've been talking to a few supporters around the club, and they're all convinced we're going to get promoted. So Chairman, how far do you think we can go?
Thanks, Nev. The one thing that we sat down was obviously to bring a bit of stability into this club, and the first thing what we didn't want to do was what happened to Stockport County. You know, we don't want to. I think they played Altrincham last week, and they took 1,400 fans to Altrincham and got beat 3-0. What we want to do is first and foremost was to stay in the Football League. But I think I've made it very clear that my goals and aspirations was to get the club back into the Championship in a 5-year plan. And the buzz around the place, with the players, the supporters, everything that's come now is everybody's got that buzz to get promotion. The support that we've had has been absolutely fantastic and first class, and I thank every supporter for that. But where I think we can go this season is, I think the players have got the passion to get us in at least the top 7. And that's where we would like to be, hopefully by the end of the season.
I touched on it earlier about the trip to Norwich. I presume quite a lot of you went down there. You must have done with 15 coaches, so that was a tremendous turnout from our support. And we saw Jesse score a pretty good goal. In fact, it could be goal of the season already. What kind of expectations do you have from that kind of play from Jesse and 1 or 2 others? The fans are excited about, I know they are, because they keep rhyming the names off, and I keep thinking, yeah, it won't be bad, you know. So what kind of expectations do you have from players like that? You know?
We've got expectations with a lot of players, and it goes back down to our scouting system. Jesse was playing in Belgium last season, and unfortunately he wasn't getting paid. We'd had very good reports about Jesse, as we have with a lot of players that we've come in. And what we didn't want to do, I think the manager made it quite clear at the fans forum that we did, is that we don't want to just take a player on a recommendation of an agent. What we want to do is get other people's opinions, actually go watch the player. We've now brought in Marco Navas as well, who's come from Spain. He's played in the Premier Liga as well. So we're not looking to just have the scouting system locally, it's going to be internationally as well. Jesse needs to have a bit of time to come into the side. You know, what he's done is when he first came here, he's very, very raw, and it's testament to the management team, because as with a lot of the players, they work every afternoon with the players to try and work on the coaching, work on the strengths to make them better. And if we had thrown Jesse in on as soon as he signed, unfortunately, you know, the problem he had a bad game and it had knocked his confidence, and football is about confidence as well. So now after playing on Tuesday night and scoring, it wasn't just the goal that I was impressed with, it was his all-round play that he did. His work rate, his closing players down. I think he nearly tackled our own defender in the corner at one stage. But one thing that we're looking to try and do is that sort of player is develop that player, and you know, Jesse came off the pitch and he was knackered after 20 minutes. You know, and it was an exciting thing for him as well. But it's now down to the manager to feed him in at the right time when he feels fit to do so.
And finally, like I said earlier again, that I'll never forget that day in May when we were honestly 2-3 days, if you take the weekend out of it, from shutting down. And people think that's said very casually. It wasn't casual, it was frightening. It was absolutely frightening, I can tell everybody. And from that time on, and like I said, it's only 12 weeks, they've managed as a board, collectively. I'm sure Stewart won't take all the credit for it. There's Glenn and there's Perry, there's everybody else behind the scenes changing this club. I'd just like to ask the chairman, even though he's only been here 12 weeks, what's the most memorable time you've had in that 12 weeks besides a load of hassle?
For me, it's got to be the supporters. The reaction that I've had since I've been at the club has been absolutely brilliant from every supporter. You know, all I get is supporters coming up and shaking my hand saying thank you for saving the club and now giving the club and keeping this alive. So it's testament, that's been my biggest thing, is seeing the supporters. But it's also been the fact of how we're starting to build something here. You know, I'm excited, really I'm excited, and I hope the fans are as well, because I know, you know, Kevin's worked at the highest level with clubs like Leeds United and Sheffield United, and he's told me he's never been as excited at a club as this one now, and he's really focused on what we wanted to try and achieve, and we've got the plans that we're putting into place to make that a success. I did say to Delia and the chairman of Norwich as I left on Tuesday night, we will be seeing you hopefully in the Premiership again soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, we mustn't get lackadaisical. We're just going to win now because we're going to win a few rooms. We must not get lackadaisical. I remember coming into this club 1985, Pat with her, Pauline with her, most of you were here, and I've banged the same drum all along, and we can't get lackadaisical. There's Lifeline, there's Treasure Line, there's wherever's going, there's supporting us, there's buying kits, there's everything, because it's all ours now, the kits are ours, we're no longer reliant on outside companies to do that. For those that can monitor the companies, our commercial department has doubled income, absolutely doubled income. You'll see names going around this stadium that you probably never thought you'd ever see here. So all I'm saying to you all is, love the football, enjoy the chairman's care for the supporters, but at the same time, I ask you to give a little bit back wherever possible, and if you can help us in any way, and like I've always said, no matter how small or how big, please give him your support, and I'm sure we'll never get in that position again. Thanks for your support and have a great day. Thank you.